on. We're streaming.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to officially call this meeting of the Mayor and Council to order. Thank you. At this time, I'd ask everyone to please rise for a moment of silent prayer and reflection, as we have a few things. We have the passing of former Mayor James Battaglia, who was the mayor in 1989 to 1990. We have Elizabeth Caruso, who was a New Milford School District teacher for 25 years, who was tragically murdered last week. And our thoughts and prayers are with the family and the residents of Oakland, New Jersey from that terrible, terrible pedestrian car accident the other day. Please salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please note the fire exits to my left, your right, the main hallway, and behind you into the main parking lot. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law is enacted to ensure the right of the public to advance notice of and attend any meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with this act, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of New Milford have caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the Borough Hall. Notices have been sent to the Record and the Ridgewood News. The mission of this governing body is to provide essential services through the establishment and implementation of public policy that will safeguard the infrastructure, provide fair, honest, courteous, and professional services, establish a sense of trust and accomplishment between all residents, and through research and prudent planning seek to minimize risk while improving our services. We are sensitive to the needs and satisfaction of our taxpayers, while realizing that this governing body cannot be all things to all people, within the revenue constraints imposed by state mandates, economic conditions, and prevailing attitudes about taxation. At this time, I would ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Councilman Sanusin. Here. Councilman Zollner.
Here.
Council President Duffy.
Here.
Councilman Grotzky.
Here.
Councilman Seymour.
Here.
Councilwoman Grant.
Here.
Mayor Pacino.
Here. Okay, before we start, I'm going to ask for a motion to add an appointment. I'd like to ask a motion to add the appointment of Molly Davis to the Environmental and Energy Commission.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, moving on to appointments. The first one, may I get a motion to appoint Israel Echeverria to the Junior Firefighter Auxiliary.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And now we'll move on to Molly Davis for the Environmental and Energy Commission, alternate 2.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Congratulations and thank you very much, and we look forward to your service to our borough. Under unfinished business, may I get a motion for the approval of the minutes for the June 30th, 2025 closed session and work session? Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? No, everyone was here. Okay. All right, we have 2 ordinances up for adoption tonight. First one is 2025:21, and when the clerk has the opportunity, I would ask her to please read the ordinance.
An ordinance adopting a redevelopment plan for Block 501, lots 9 and 10, in the Borough of New Milford, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, pursuant to NJSA 40A:12A-7.
The purpose of this ordinance is to adopt the redevelopment plan prepared on behalf of the borough by Phyllis Prescrigo Lahini Hughes LLC for property located at 810 and 814 820 River Road, New Milford, a copy of which is on file at the office of the borough clerk and is available for public inspection. May I get a motion to open to the public for a public hearing on this ordinance?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ladies and gentlemen of the public, if anyone has any questions or comments regarding this ordinance, now is your opportunity. Seeing that no member of the public wishes to speak at this time, I would ask for a motion to close to the public.
Motion closed. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I get a motion to adopt this ordinance on its final reading?
Second.
May I get a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Sanusin. Yes. Councilman Zollner.
Yes.
Council President Duffy. Yes. Councilman Grotzky.
Yes.
Councilman Seymour.
Yes.
Councilwoman Grant.
Yes.
Okay. The next one up for adoption tonight is 2025:22, and when the clerk has the opportunity, I would ask her to please read the ordinance.
Capital ordinance of the Borough of New Milford in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, authorizing the replacement of a fire horn at Fire Company Number 1 in, by, and for the borough, appropriating therefore the sum of $13,000, and providing that such sum so appropriated shall be raised from the capital improvement fund of the borough.
The purpose of this ordinance is to appropriate $13,000 from the borough's capital improvement fund to replace the fire horn at Company 1. May I get a motion to open to the public for a public hearing on this ordinance? We got Randy and somebody said.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ladies and gentlemen of the public, if anyone has any questions or comments regarding this ordinance, now is your opportunity to come forward. Sure? See that no member of the public wishes to come forward at this time, I would ask for a motion to close to the public.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I get a motion to adopt this ordinance on its final reading?
So moved.
Second. May I get a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Sanusin.
Yes.
Councilman Zollner.
Yes.
Council President Duffy.
Yes.
Councilman Grotzky.
Yes.
Councilman Seymour.
Yes.
Councilwoman Grant.
Yes.
Moving on to new business, we have a couple of ordinances tonight up for introduction. The first one being 2025:23, and when the clerk has the opportunity, I ask you to please read the ordinance.
An ordinance amending Chapter 14 of the Revised General Ordinances of the Borough of New Milford to entitle it Public Lands and Buildings, and to add Section 14-1 regarding the display of flags on borough flagpoles.
The purpose of this ordinance is to authorize the display of commemorative flags on borough-owned flagpoles as a form of government expression and to identify the flags that are permitted. May I get a motion to introduce this ordinance on its first reading?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No, roll call, please.
Yes. Councilwoman Sanusin.
Yes.
Councilman Zollner.
Yes.
Council President Duffy.
Yes.
Councilman Grotzky.
Yes.
Councilman Seymour.
Yes.
Councilwoman Grant.
Yes.
The public hearing on this ordinance will be at our August 25th meeting. Next one for introduction is 2025:24, and when the clerk has the opportunity, I would ask you to please read the ordinance.
An ordinance amending Chapter 30 of the Revised General Ordinances of the Borough of New Milford to amend Section 30-29.2 entitled General Rules and Regulations, Permit Required, regarding the private display of pennants, banners, and flags.
The purpose of this ordinance is to clarify the intent of regulations governing the private display of pennants, buntings, and flags, as opposed to the public display of commemorative pennants, banners, and flags on borough-owned lands and buildings as a form of government expression. May I get a motion to introduce this ordinance on its first reading?
So moved.
Second.
May I get a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Sanusin.
Yes.
Councilman Zollner.
Yes.
Council President Duffy.
Yes.
Councilman Grotzky.
Yes.
Councilman Seymour.
Yes.
Councilwoman Grant.
Yes.
The public hearing for this ordinance will also be at our August 25th meeting. And the last one up for adoption tonight is 2025:25. And when the clerk has the opportunity, I'd ask you to please read the ordinance.
Capital ordinance to appropriate an additional sum of $20,000 for the undertaking of channel stabilization improvements to the French Brook in the vicinity of Corfitson Road, in, by, and for the Borough of New Milford, in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, and providing that such sum so appropriated shall be raised from the capital improvement fund of the borough.
The purpose of this ordinance is to appropriate $20,000 from the Borough of New Milford Capital Improvement Fund to supplement the funding authorized by ordinance number 2024:22 and adopted by the Borough of New Milford on August 26, 2024 for channel stabilization improvements to the French Brook. May I get a motion to introduce this ordinance on its first reading?
Motion.
Second. Make it a roll call, please.
Councilwoman Sanusin.
Yes.
Councilman Zollner.
Yes.
Council President Duffy.
Yes.
Councilman Grotzky. Councilman Seymour.
Yes.
Councilwoman Grant.
Yes.
The public hearing for this ordinance will also be at our August 25th meeting. Okay, we are going to move on to item number 1, which is overnight parking. So you're going to be up. So item number 1, as everyone knows, we have our Not during the summer, we have our overnight parking restrictions. After we implemented them back after COVID, we've been in communication with the police department. We were constantly tracking how it was going. Is it useful? What are the benefits? We have come to realize that there are a few properties in town where it is pretty much impossible for them to abide by it. They run out of, we have the, we can call in 8 times, and it just doesn't work. Some of their properties, they are not able to widen their driveways. And so through our talks, we talked about possibly adding a permit where a resident could actually purchase a permit and they could park on the street. And Lieutenant Paisano is going to tell us more about that program that other towns are doing.
Yeah, so the online overnight parking system we currently use, we've talked about permits in the past, but we just couldn't figure out possibly how to implement it. The current system we use is actually online. It's the same system. So a resident will go on to the system, register their car to get approved. And if it meets the criteria that's set by ordinance, we would then approve it. They would pay for the permit, and then when an officer was driving, they would run the license plate and it would say permit valid, or no, they wouldn't show up anything for no permit. So the system works. And there are issues, like the mayor did say. There are some residents that just, they don't have the room to do anything. They can't abide by all the overnight parking regulations.
There are some driveways in town that are 1-car driveways because, it's some old stock and it just doesn't work.
So you would allow someone to have a permit, and they can park overnight, even outside of the normal time in the ordinance that allows them in the summertime to park overnight?
Well, the summertime, we would still suspend it because you have kids coming home from school, you have everything else. Everything else would still stay in place. There would be, the ordinance would, by zone, so certain zones would be eligible to get that permit, and then they would have to pay, it would be for the year, from January till December, and then they would have to renew it.
So it's not a townwide change?
Well, it would be
It's not
for,
a specific zone.
it would be resident by residential zone.
Individual residents in individual zones?
Yes, certainly. I don't know the zones, what zone letter number is what, but like a resident that lived on Webster Drive, whatever residential zone that is, they would be eligible for the permit in order to apply for it.
And there'd only be a limited number per zone, right? Because you wouldn't just you wouldn't let everybody get it.
No, it's whoever wants to purchase the permit.
How have you decided on the zone?
And you're right, that's my street, so.
So wouldn't it be for every resident,
Anyone that wants to get the permit.
for every resident? Not a zone, but for...
No, residential
It's
zone.
Residential zone.
Yes. Tenants would not be eligible.
Oh, okay. Right.
How
Well, you
many
can't do that.
permits per household?
The apartments are in different zones, they're not residential zones.
Well, the permits per household would be decided by the ordinance, whatever was agreed to, or whether it was 1 or 2, because there's not a lot of people that have that requirement, but if you're going to do it by zone, even if a resident just wanted to purchase a permit, they should be allowed to purchase a permit, and that car would be the car that has to stay on the road. And then if they had someone come home or a guest stay over, that guest could still utilize the overnight parking list, in addition to the permit, but that car would be the one that would be allowed to stay on the road.
Are you recommending an amount for the permit?
And it's to the car, not to
To
the
the
house.
car, not to the house. Yeah.
So could you get more than one?
See, that's one of the things that's going to be discussed. What I want to do is I want to have Councilman Grotzky and I want to have Councilman Seymour sitting down with Lieutenant Paisano and John Shadanian crafting the ordinance for us to approve. Now iron out the details of how many can you get, how much is it going to be, and hammer out the zone part. Right now we're talking about the concept. The concept of allowing someone to pay for a pass where they can park on the street. Primarily it's going to be people who need it. People who have to have this are going to do this. I don't think we're going to have a huge run on it because there's plenty of houses that aren't going to spend the money when they have 4-car driveways and 2 cars. Doesn't make sense for them.
Depends on what you're charging. Probably.
There's not going to be $1. Other towns I know are charging $200, $250 for the pass.
We could also specify that there's an actual need. So if you have a 4-car driveway, you have to.
No, you can't.
It's too subjective.
So that's what's going to be ironed out in the crafting of the ordinance.
Yeah.
And you're gonna charge them for a year when in 2 months they don't need to pay for it.
No, it's an annual renewal. It's not that you're getting charged for the year, it's an annual renewal.
You only get charged for 10 months because 2 months is free.
It's,
And holidays.
It's a one break.
An annual.
Right, it's an annual permit.
right.
But we have houses that even with the 8 times logging on, they can't do it.
Yeah, a lot more residents have called, and they've said that kids are now home. They are, it's harder for them to buy houses and move out. They thought the kids would be out of the house 3 years ago, now they're still there, and, their kids want to leave their cars in the driveway and have mom and dad put the car on the street, and, they're trying to shuffle the cars around as best they can, and, the numbers and the limitations just don't work. It's like the mayor said, this is a concept idea, and hopefully we can implement it for the residents. And then this program would actually also allow us, for somebody who had construction done, that had a dumpster in their driveway, we could create that permit, and whether it would be by a minimal fee or something, we can then approve a parking pass for them for 30 days or so that they could have the dumpster in their driveway and they can leave their car out in the street,
We did talk about one household.
That's something that, I would like them to come back to us with those answers. How many per household, what do you think the cost should be? The other thing I know we're going to have to talk about when we meet is what happens, like we have a couple of streets where you can't park from 7 to 9 a.m. If a resident has the pass, can they still park in front of their house? Or are they still subject to the 7 to 9? That's something to talk about in committee, so I don't know.
Well, it's
That's
going to
something-
depend on what the 7 to 9 restriction is for. If the 7 to 9 restriction is for street cleaning, no one can park there.
It's the same ordinance, 7-4, it's under the same ordinance.
Also snow.
No, there's no parking, snow-covered streets at all. That does not change. Yeah. Right. So, Ira and Matt, you guys okay
Yes,
being part of this?
I'd love to, thank you. Thank you for the privilege of Mayor. Yeah.
How much is the parking ticket?
47, 50 something, I forget the amount.
Right, and,
You told me I should leave my car in the street.
you could,
Yeah.
and the state gets 90% of it.
Yes, you're fine tonight, so.
Yeah.
Really? I want a street that I can park on.
Can you, talk a little bit more about the computer program?
Yeah, so the computer program that we use now is called PD Links, and that's where we do our overnight parking. They have the online permit system with it. They also offer other things for the borough. I kind of spoke to the gentleman that runs the company, and they offer like animal licensing, they offer garage sales, dumpster permit applications to it. They offer some other police management things on there. It just seems that there's a lot of potential for the borough with this system, down the road for us to kind of consider.
So kind of like you could expand into other departments going forward.
Yeah, like I know their animal permit or their animal licensing, the resident will go on, upload a picture of their animal. And then I know he did say that whatever form the health department has to fill out to send to the state, it's automatically filled out and they just send it. They don't have to.
Are the fees paid through the program?
Everything is, he can do the management and stuff through that.
What is the cost of the program?
Each module costs a certain amount. I can find out the exact amount, but I think the more you purchase, each module becomes a little cheaper. I've only had like a couple brief conversations with them about it.
Sounds like the animal license ones would be the queue inspection permits if everyone's uploading pictures of their. But I believe it's not that expensive, right?
I don't believe it's that expensive. I think for every module he has, which is like maybe 10, it might be like $9,000 for the entire thing.
It's not tough change.
Well,
Annually?
annually, yes. And obviously, I don't know, I would
Well, no,
imagine
that's something
price
down the road-
changes and
Down the road, we would look and see
Yeah.
if we have a need for that. Oh, let's, animal licensing or,
Yeah.
other.
alarm.
Health or.
Yeah, he has a camera registry system that we use, our detectives use, and it's not access to cameras. What it is a resident or us, if we know you have a camera system, could put it in the system. So if something happens on that street, we're like 123 Main Street has a camera system, let's go knock on their door and see if we can get some information. You know, if they have any video of whatever incident happened. But there's no access to the camera system.
It's just letting us know where potentially
Yes,
the resident wants to let us use their camera, you know, they might have picked something up.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, that was very useful when there was no traffic light on Graphic.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Were you guys going
Yeah.
Mayor, I have
So,
a question to follow up with the permit. Is that with the parking permits? Is that all right? I just am curious if, you mentioned earlier when you started talking that you had spoken with other communities that are using the permitting system. And can you share some of the feedback and information that you've had from these other communities?
Yeah, a lot of the communities, they've always had permits. A lot of them used to use the stickers in the car. I know Carlstadt just went to this system, and they seem to like it. But they have a lot of different parking stuff because of their community. It's a lot different. But for us, you know, it's something new. We've never done this before. You know, but the other communities that have it, they've had it for years. I know South Hackensack they don't use this program, but they have permits. I think Lodi has permits. They all like them, and the residents there like them. We've taken a lot of phone calls from residents here, like, can you guys do permits so we don't have to call and put our car on a list every night?
Fort Lee, Cliffside, all permits.
Yeah.
We were talking about this in
Yeah.
2012 with Jones.
Is it a plate reader?
Yeah.
The plate's assigned to the plate reader, so when you go by, you know that the car is supposed to be
I
there?
think there might be a way to do that I'm not sure, but I know for us, it's just like the overnight. There's a map on the program, so we can actually bring up the map, and the overnight parking is either green or red. So green that they're approved, red that they've been denied, which means they didn't meet the criteria, or the plate's not in the system, which means they didn't even try. And then for permits, it's blue, and it would tell you permit, like, if it's, I would imagine if it's red, it would be because it's not a valid permit. And it goes by that license plate, not to the person.
So there would be no stickers? Is
No
that what you're
stickers.
saying? Okay, so there
No.
there would be no
Because one of the
indication.
things we talked about a while ago is people, here, you can use mine, here, or I'm gonna start selling them, because that's all in the garage sales, you know? It's registered to your car.
Okay. Thank you. That was helpful.
Okay. So, I guess in the next few days, if you guys would like to schedule something,
Sounds good, Mayor.
that'd be great. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Anything else for Lieutenant Pazone? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. Okay, item number 2 is the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, New York, New Jersey Harbor and Tributary Study. Council President Duffy.
So, when I saw Army Corps of Engineers, I volunteered to take a part in this call. Only because every time it floods in Milford, someone says, when is the Army Corps of Engineers coming to dredge the slow spot in our river? So please bear with me. It was a 4-hour Zoom call. Really. Don't let me volunteer for anything
Randy
ever
is
again.
skilled, and she can take a 4-hour Zoom call and put it into 30 seconds.
I tried really hard. Okay.
Go ahead.
So this is called the New York, New Jersey Harbor and Tributaries Coastal Storm Risk Management Study. Originally, this study, referred to as HACS, was a reaction to Superstorm Sandy because of the sudden flooding events, the sudden and severe rainstorms, and much more. So they describe this study as it's a focus area feasibility study in a U.S. Army Corps of Engineers study focused on developing strategies to manage coastal storm risks and rainstorms, not just a coastal storm. In the New York and New Jersey, a congressman made them happen. And New Jersey Harbor region The study encompasses a large portion of both states, including 25 counties. The goal is to reduce economic losses and risks associated with coastal flooding and storm events, while also enhancing the long-term resilience of ecosystems and communities. So here's the purpose of the meeting: to share information about New York and New Jersey harbor and tributaries, which would be the Hackensack River. Share information about the draft integrated interim response feasibility record and environmental assessment. Provide an overview of the proposed actionable elements. Those are the projects that they are going to move forward on. Provide information about upcoming public engagement opportunities. Hear your questions and your feedback. So the departments stated on this are the NJDEP, the State of New Jersey, State of New York Department of Environmental Conservation, the New York Department of State, and the NYC Environmental Protection Coalition. So some of it is governmental and some of it is non-governmental. So to continue, the study reported 3 actionable elements for the future consideration out of a lot of submissions. One New Jersey project was chosen, and it was Moonachie. Moonachie, after Sandy, we all know they lost so much. So their project would be an addition of culverts and a pump station. So it was nice to see a New Jersey project. During the public portion, I asked some questions about flood relief along the river. The person that answered seemed very familiar with our situation. And I did ask, can you confirm that the site is on the Superfund site? And could it be included in a study? He confirmed that the area is on the Superfund list, and only after the guilty polluters remedied the site could a project be included. So I said to him, hey, our town's 200 years plus old. How are we going to get these polluters? He's like, anyway, to be considered for a project, you must have all proposals and engineering done, like we always say, shelf ready. Obviously, this is a long-term undertaking, but in my opinion, it's worth staying in the loop because we are seeing more weather changes and unpredictability and the effects on our residents. So if we do continue this, I imagine it would either be the flood committee or the environmental commission, or maybe Vince, because he has his flood credentials. So I encourage anyone, if they want, to go look at the website. You have until August 25th to make comments. If you want to add some questions about Milford and our situation at the bottom of the 4 reservoirs, whatever you want to do, they want to hear. Guess what, Lisa? Data. They love data. So
You used to make fun of me about data.
and there
There it is. You still do.
But they want data.
So we would need to have a project for the Hackensack
Yeah.
River that we had engineering for?
I know.
Okay.
But that's where a coalition comes into play.
Yeah.
Where if there was a coalition of towns along the
Yeah.
river, and we were really, effective at putting it together, it could be. I mean, if you see the map, it's quite extensive along the harbor and the coastline, but it does go up the Hackensack.
It is a shame that Moonachie had to wait this long.
I know. Think about how long ago, 12 years.
Yeah.
12 years.
I wonder how this will coincide with our upcoming EPA stuff, because we know it's on the watershed list. Because we are having several meetings with EPA about our input but I don't know if they have an action plan that they're coming up with or not.
You could read, this meeting was more of like, here's our study, this is what we found, here's the people, let's introduce you to everyone that contributed to it. But in the end, you did get to see, like another one of they picked 3 projects. Another project was a 12-foot seawall along the Harlem River, which seems like there were people that were in the audience, I could hear them, like, no way, why are you doing that? It's going to create more flooding. So you can only imagine the public hearings on all these. But it was interesting, and anyone would like
The
to.
good news is they're talking. So this is on their radar screen.
They are. And when I mentioned where I was from, they said, we know your problems, we know your issues.
What is the third project that they did?
The third project, where is it? Did I write it? It's an area along the coast, but it's meant to be remedied by a natural solution rather than building something. So that would go along with some
Like a regeneration project. I'm not familiar with what the NYNJ Harbor Tributary Study is working on, but the Superfund site, the Hackensack River Superfund, is, they have to do their studies first. So they're working on the Hackensack Superfund and cleaning up, and they're focusing on Kearney right now, and so they're working on that, and then after that they're going to be doing some work. So when you mentioned a coalition, I've been working with the Northern New Jersey Community Foundation. I'm on the steering committee for the Hackensack River Nation, which is an initiative to create a coalition of municipalities, so it would be local governments, nonprofit organizations, and others who are involved with advocating for the Hackensack River restoration. So that is in the works, actually. That's ongoing, and I'm on the steering committee for that.
Does not.
So with the tributaries,
mention flooding in any way.
it does, actually. There will be,
I haven't heard.
so it is part of the conversation. So I'm just sharing information that the Harbor Tributary Study is U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, which is a different organization from the Superfund EPA. So the EPA and the Army Corps are different entities. So sometimes, it's kind of interesting to see the different studies that are happening in the processes. So that's happening. So definitely, the flooding is definitely part of the conversation.
For a coalition of towns along the Hackensack that have been flooded in specific storms that happened to Milford, as well as the storms all the way up through the 4 reservoirs.
And I'm saying that that opportunity is right there in the Hackensack River Nation. It's coming together. Yeah, there's been lots of discussions, and it's ongoing, and it's still in development.
I would imagine we want to be a part of any coalition possible. Our unique position, we're the first ones after the dam.
And I asked them about the dam.
I'm on the steering committee.
And they said we wouldn't touch the dam because it's drinking water. If it was just controlling river flow in any way, or power, that would be different. But if it's drinking water, the EPA won't touch it.
Nope, to be protected and untouched. Any questions for Council President Duffy?
Interesting.
Thank you for
Thank you.
doing that and
Thank you
bringing
for
that.
doing
That's,
that.
Yes.
that's a marathon.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you. And it's such an easy topic, you know.
Yeah.
Thank you, Council President.
I hope the flood committee or environmental or anyone in the borough would like to pick up the,
How do we,
mantle.
you have the link?
Yeah, Chris does.
It was an email that I sent out to everybody, and Randy
I will look at it.
jumped on it.
Okay, moving on to bamboo ordinance. So another thing everyone has received, we received sample ordinances from Teaneck, River Edge, and Fairlawn. We have we had a resident in town who's having a bamboo issue. I visited the site, and you could definitely see a great portion of her backyard is pretty much destroyed by bamboo that is being grown by the neighbor along a fence line. In conversations with Council President Duffy, she had mentioned that years ago there was an issue in New Milford where bamboo actually lifted up someone's pool.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I do. And I know it's very invasive.
Yes.
Although I must say that 20 years ago, I
Yes.
planted some, and they say it doesn't die. It died. I have such a problem. I'm sorry. Even bamboo.
Nice word.
So I know bamboo is very difficult to mitigate, to remove, causes a lot of property damage. So the resident was under the impression it was actually a state law. Apparently there was 2 bills that were introduced and they were never passed for, I don't know what reason, I don't know what else was connected to them. No, state level. I think the state at one point was looking to outlaw bamboo and other invasive species. It just did not happen. I believe either 11 or 17 Bergen County towns actually have ordinances against bamboo. So I had those sent around as examples of something, if that's something we would like to do, and try to curtail bamboo going forward, because it's a problem. It's not going away, so.
In this particular instance, the neighbor was actually amenable. The health inspector went out and met with them, and they agreed to mitigate it. So that was a good outcome.
That was a good outcome for this one, yes.
Yes.
How much of a problem is this in the borough? Do you know?
This was actually the first case that I heard, and I saw the results of it. Bad, but no.
We wrote Bill and I wrote Teaneck's ordinance, so the Teaneck ordinance that's there, we wrote the town attorneys, or township attorneys, and there were a couple of residents in Teaneck that had grown bamboo, and, it's a bunch like this case. It invaded the next door neighbor's property. Usually people put it up as a barrier, like up on a fence line or whatever, because it grows high. I think it provides like some coverage. But what it does is it then creeps over and like as we talked about with the pool, it can push a fence down, displace concrete. I mean, like things that you don't think that plants will do, but we all know that they actually do. So it grows so fast that whether it's a problem in more than 1 or 2 locations right now, it's more like preventing other people from planting it so that it doesn't become a problem again, because you can't undo it once it's done.
What, you sent around and mentioned a specific type of bamboo. I assume that there is more than one type of bamboo? Are we suggesting we target just one type?
No, it names a number of them, and it says it's not limited
There's
to.
lists.
I like River Edge. One of the things I like in the ordinances is it doesn't prevent people from planting bamboo as long as it's in a pot, it's not earth. So you could grow bamboo in pots and it's never going to affect neighbors or borough property.
This is a good.
Inside.
Outside, but in pots, you can't earth it.
As long as you have a
Correct.
30-inch barrier,
Right. As long as it's above ground.
you have to have above ground, but what about the
So
30-inch
there's-
barrier, because
In one of the
pots,
ordinances, if you have bamboo, it doesn't allow anyone to plant new, but you have to put the barriers in 30
High
inches
density
down.
polypropylene or
Yes.
polyethylene with a minimum thickness of 40 millimeters, and shall be a minimum of 30 inches deep with 2 to 3 inches of the barrier protruding above ground level around the entire perimeter.
That's expensive to have.
So what I'm looking for,
Yeah.
what I'm looking for is for you guys to authorize John to come up with something for New Milford that can be reviewed.
Hey.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna make
Yeah,
sense for New Milford.
yeah, I do have a caution though that it's culturally like sensitive because, and also because plants have cultural relevance, and also have a concern about the language of invasive species, because bamboo is actually a great carbon, it sequesters a lot of carbon. It's one of the best carbon sequesters. And so, and it's kind of like when we talk about invasive species often, I think we're forgetting that these species are thriving in disturbed zones that the native plants can't handle, and they're often first responders in recovery and regeneration. So I think we need to make something that I would like to see an ordinance that is ecologically and culturally aware.
But still bans bamboo.
I am not about I actually do not agree with banning bamboo. I do.
Did you read the ordinance?
Yes.
Bamboo in earth.
I disagree with that, actually. So I think it's worthwhile to have it contained, but I do not agree with banning planting it in earth. And I think as long as it can be contained and maintained properly, I think that's one of the things that's education. It needs maintenance.
That's part of the ordinance.
And that is part of the
It's
ordinance.
very hard to contain it, though, once it's in the ground.
Did you review the ordinances that were circulated?
Yeah, there were 3 ordinances that I read, so they're a little mixed up. I've been traveling, so
I talked to the mayor about it offline, and I said there were things about Teanex that he liked, and there were things about Riveridge that we liked, and the Fair Lawn ordinance seemed to have a good mix of both without being overly,
Well, because I think we have to be careful about when we talk about using language invasive, because plants migrate, people migrate, things change, and
this didn't call it an invasive species. It said support from the invasive spread of such bamboo to the neighboring property line. I mean,
yeah,
that's the purpose.
and that's, you can do that with the 30-inch barriers, and also education about the types of bamboo. There are 14,000 varieties of bamboo.
Okay, we're not going to list all 14,000.
No.
No.
But bamboo is it's edible. Some forms are edible.
Sure.
So I think, you have to be careful about cultural sensitivity.
So do we want our attorney's office to
But
draft?
if you read this ordinance, it does not prohibit it. It controls it from.
I am for controlling. I am not for prohibiting it into the ground.
This does not.
I am for controlling it. I support that part of the ordinance, but having it above ground in pots only, I am against. I think it needs to go into the ground because it is a carbon sequestering plant. It is very beneficial for our community because we're an urban heat zone, and anything that we can help reduce our transpiration. Sorry, the science is missing right now, but anything that can help cool our communities during heat times without having to, it's a very complicated environmental, and it's not a one-point thing. So I just want to say, bamboo's not the enemy. That's just basically all I want to say is bamboo's not the enemy.
How about planting a couple of trees?
Well, no, nobody said that it is. It's just don't let it run onto your neighbor's property.
Right, and I'm supporting that part.
I'd like to ask Chris to go ahead and put something together along with John and his office, John and Bill, to help us put something together. And I do believe that bamboo is invasive to neighbors. And I do believe, like poison ivy is invasive. It grows crazy and it damages your skin. Well, bamboo damages property and it's hard to get rid of. Now, if it has these properties that Lisa is talking about, well, there is a place for that. But in our town, where we are neighbor to neighbor to neighbor, it's just not the appropriate space for it. There are other ways, like Councilman Grotsky just said, plant more trees. We're committed to fight climate change wherever we can. But when a plant can invade someone's property to the point that now they're stressed out, they have to spend money, and there's nothing beautiful about it. So please go ahead and do that.
Yeah, well, I think we need to be culturally sensitive about plants as well, because we have, people...
I personally don't understand that term, Lisa, and I don't think it's appropriate right now, but I'd like to hear your definition of a culturally sensitive plant.
I think cultures have
Maybe
plants that they
other
bring
time,
with.
But
Yeah.
not now.
Well, let's address that when we see
The ordinance.
sample for New Milford,
Yeah.
right? Because let's not speculate on things that may not even be in our. Any other questions or comments? Wait, first of all, can I get a motion to direct the attorney and Chris to create an ordinance for us to look at? Motion.
Second.
Make it a roll call, please. Yeah.
Councilman Van Dusen.
Abstain.
Councilman Zalman.
I vote yes with, this is just going to be a start, correct?
Correct.
With, down the road could be revisions.
Absolutely.
Then I vote yes.
It's a sample. It's a draft.
Okay.
Council President Duffy.
Yes.
Councilman Grotsky.
Yes.
Councilman Seymour.
Yes.
Councilman Grant.
Yes.
Item number 4 is pedestrian safety grant. Councilman Grotsky.
Thank you, Mayor.
And I see Lieutenant Paisano coming back up to the
Yes,
karaoke group.
through Lieutenant Paisano's diligence, we were able to obtain a pedestrian safety education enforcement grant. The award is actually approximately $18,000, but the state is giving us $14,000. $4,000 is going to be used at operating for child seat pedestrian education events, which the borough would have done anyway. So this is a win-win grant. It's going to run through May of next year. $10,500 is going to be used for enforcement, which is roving and decoy details. The $2,500 is for traffic data collection. What it's going to do is it's allowing us to buy a machine that will be able to count cars. And for example, we can put it where there's traffic, where we're getting a lot of complaints to see how many cars are going through the intersection. Really figured out where we might want to begin with. And $1,000 is for commodities, which are going to be for printing materials, pamphlets, flyers, etc. So I think it's a very good thing, and I thank Lieutenant Paisano for his diligence in helping us obtain this grant.
This is not a matching grant.
But the thing that we wanted to talk about tonight was having a minimum hourly rate,
Yes.
which is
Okay, yes.
part of the grant for the enforcement.
Which is part of the grant, yes.
Right.
Which is what,
We did this for the last one, which was the distracted driving. So the the grant provides for a $70 per hour, and the last time we did this, we just, I think Councilman Grassi made a motion to say that we would use that as the minimum hourly rate for anyone that does those details.
That is
But
correct.
in addition to the regular work?
No. Yeah, it's in addition to the regular work,
You
yes.
said it would not be during the regular work
No.
hours?
That's correct.
No. Do you want to make that motion?
I will make that motion to, $70 per hour. Our last grant, there was no expenditures by the police department. It was all our other officers who took the grant. We think that will be the same this time around also.
Is that the amount that was paid the last time?
Yes.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? How do we in the future do this where every time this grant comes up, we don't have to redo what they think the payment should be?
I think I could write a resolution that says we can pay whatever the grant offers as the minimum.
We can start that like in January or something?
Yeah.
Pedestrian safety, very important. As I mentioned earlier, Oakland. These are people in the crosswalk.
We just had another detail last Monday with radar down Boulevard.
On Boulevard, yeah, Boulevard and Ridge. I think we stopped 20 vehicles. We did about 2 hours and we stopped about 20 vehicles for speeding on the Boulevard. Some overweight vehicles too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving on to schedule updates. It's not a long list, but we've got some major things on here. Monday, August 4th, is Staff Art Show at the New Milford Public Library. Starts at 6:30 p.m. at the New Milford Public Library. On Tuesday, August 5th, is our annual National Night Out, sponsored by the New Milford Police Department. It'll start at 7 p.m. on Kennedy Field. And yes, once again, we will be ending the night with fireworks. This event gets bigger and bigger and better every year. So, thank you. And on Wednesday, August 13th, is our Deer Management Program, sponsored by the New Milford Mayor and Council and the New Jersey Fish and Wildlife. It'll be at 7 p.m. at the Borough Hall courtroom. Basically, Council President Duffy has conspired with our DPW, and they contacted Fish and Wildlife, which is a part of the New Jersey DEP, and they are actually going to come and do a presentation on basically deer management in the suburbs. Living with deer, things we should be doing, things we should not be doing, and it's going to be very informative and educational. We will also be giving out flyers at National Night Out to educate the public on living with deer. We hear all the time that we see more and more deer, and it's how do we mitigate with it? How do we live with it? And how do we control it? So,
Just let it be.
it's gonna be good.
What date is that?
That is the 13th. And I told Randy she had to dress in a deer costume,
Yeah, cool.
but we'll see if that happens.
I gotta call you, that's all.
Is there any other events I missed?
You want to do September,
No.
or are you sticking with August?
We're sticking with all.
Can I say though, at National Night Out, the Friends of the Library will have sign-up sheets for the book sale, to the garage sale, which is the last weekend of September.
Do you want to give us a little bit more about the Staff Art Show?
It's a wonderful show. I've seen it, and we have an incredibly artistically talented staff at the library. You have photographs, oil paintings, a variety of media are used, and I think everybody will be very impressed with our staff. So I encourage everybody to go.
Anything else coming up that I may have forgot about in August? No, right? Okay. Okay, Administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. For our engineering update, the advertisement for bids for the French Brook Channel stabilization is going to run this Wednesday, July 30th, with a return date for bids of August 28th. The advertisement for bids for the two New Jersey DOT road improvement projects, which is the local aid infrastructure for Steuben, Clinton, Linwood, Maple, and Roosevelt, and the municipal aid for Roslyn, Monroe, and Marion. The ad ran on July 17th, and the return date for those bids is August 14th. The engineer provided a response to the DOT on July 23rd for the comments that they made on the construction documents for the Main Street Improvement Project, and once the DOT signs off, the project will be advertised for bids. The field work for the MS4 stormwater infrastructure mapping has been completed and is being reviewed prior to submission to the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. Bergen County has another storm drain upgrade planned for a section of Madison Avenue from 258 Madison to 380 Madison, which covers 6 locations. It's unlikely that the work's going to be completed before school starts, and a pre-construction meeting for that was scheduled for, I believe, August 12th, and the police department's working with them to make sure to minimize the impact on school traffic if that becomes an issue.
Good luck.
The electric vehicle charging station at the library is complete and powered and will be operational by the end of this week. The charging station at Borough Hall is waiting for the final power connection from Public Service, and then will be put into service. The last we heard from Public Service today is that they've been doing a lot of storm response, and it's delayed a lot of their regular work. The additional pole that was required at Knightsfield has been installed, and the final work is being completed by the EV vendor, and when it's complete, we will get a service inspection for the power for that one. And other than that, the next meeting of the Mayor Council is a public session scheduled for Monday, August 25th at 7 p.m.
Any questions for the administrator? Okay. Everyone has had a chance to look at the resolutions. Are there any that need to be pulled for further discussion and/or vote? Councilman Zalman, what do you got?
I have a question on a few of the resolutions. From 2025-181 to 2025-185.
Are you going to ask a question, or do you want these pulled?
No, I'd like just to ask, I have a couple of questions.
Go ahead.
When I read the resolutions, I might have overlooked on those resolutions that it said reappointment. So are those reappointments or are they new hires?
They're reappointments.
And what's the difference between Class 1 and Class 3?
Oh, it's a big difference.
Oh, I'm asking what the difference is.
Class 3, okay, is the lead officers in the school who are able to carry, right?
Correct.
Yes.
They're retired officers.
The retired officers that will carry. And Class 1s.
Class 1s are the auxiliaries.
The former auxiliaries who don't carry, but they have the ability to issue summonses and they patrol in the cars.
And these are reappointments, we're not
They
adding.
have to be reappointed every year.
Those are the only questions I have.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Let's go on to council committee reports. Let's start with, you want to start?
Sure, I can start.
Start.
So thank you, Mayor. The Environmental and Energy Commission, sorry, tongue twisters today. The Environmental and Energy Commission met with the consultant, the borough administrator, and the DPW director to start discussions about the site plan development for the native plant garden this past week. It went very nice, and we're glad to be getting started with that, and of course, starting with questions and seeing if we can get permissions for fences.
Excellent.
And I'm complete.
Councilman Zollner.
Mayor, public events and recreation do not meet in July and August. The planning board, which you've already seen on the agenda, they had passed a resolution for the redevelopment plan and forwarded it back to the governing body. We also are still ongoing with a subdivision in the borough. They've gone back to the drawing board to come back with a new set of plans, which we'll be seeing again in August. DPW, their line painting with white and yellow is ongoing in the town. They had catch basin repairs are wrapped up for the season. They did about almost 20 where they have been either rebuilt or repaired or replaced. PSE&G, the gas work is still ongoing for the north section of town. And the drainage work for River Road is almost complete, and then the county will be paving it. And that's completes my reports.
Any questions for Councilman Bell?
Yeah, I have a question. I read that in some European countries, instead of using white and yellow paint, they use neon, which actually reflects much better and people can actually see it. And in my community in the Adirondacks, on the main road, where the line is, it's rough pavement. So if you drive onto it, you can feel it, and you know you're drifting.
Like going on the shoulder of the road on the highway.
No, in the middle, on the line.
Well, I'm saying
Oh,
it's similar to that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think some of those ideas might be incorporated because the white and the yellow lines often fade and you can't always see them. So, just
Bring up to
a thought.
the DPW.
Well, first of all, we couldn't do anything that isn't approved by the New Jersey DOT. That's the first thing to check with, but if it's allowed, then it's something we can look at.
Perhaps we could suggest that they consider it if it's not allowed.
They're always looking for suggestions, yeah.
Seems like a good idea.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Council President Duffy?
Thanks, Mayor. So July 9th, property maintenance met mostly with lawn grass and illegal dumping of said grass. A lot of talk about people feeding deer and some of the negatives regarding that. So other than that, the inspectors are doing a really great job with all the inspections. On the 14th, I met with a number of people, including a representative from ShopRite regarding the Partners in Caring event on the 20th of September with a rain date of the 27th. In attendance was the DPW superintendent, the police chief, a rep from the fire, rep from the Board of Education, the superintendent, the mayor, of course, our administrator. So the Milford
Risk manager?
Oh, and the risk manager, number one. So a lot of the details as far as, pen and paper goes were talked about. So this event, I sent you all an email with the details, but it's, they do, every year ShopRite does Partners in Caring event, big or small, and it's meant to raise money and awareness for all the local food banks. So this year, they are going all out with an event from Saturday from like 2 in the afternoon till 10 at night. There will be a drone show. There will be 100 vendors. There will be food trucks. They're free, right? Food trucks are not free. But everything at bouncy houses, there's going to be a concert on the football field after dark kind of thing. So it's just going to be a pretty incredible event. But I know the background, mayor and council and all your liaisons will be on alert that day. So that was that meeting. They plan to meet again 10 days before. On the public safety meeting on the 17th, detours with public service, there was some flash flooding. The New Milford School District announced that they were going to be cleaning up their area by the high school field just to the right of the bleachers, and they're going to move most of that over to the middle school, David E. Owens. So that's pretty great. They want to clean up the field and move their quote-unquote garbage away from the river. We also talked about deer education during that meeting as well. Just announced the fire department is presently applying for 2 grants to help fund purchasing of training tools and equipment. So you guys, I asked Chris to hand out this flyer to you guys. This is what's going to be handed out at Night Out, and we hope that people will come. And just, here's a couple of things that we hope to accomplish. And this is from the Fish and Wildlife site. Feeding of wild white-tailed deer. It increases their reproductive potential. They lose their fear of humans. It enhances the spread of diseases and parasites and may compromise the health of non-target species. It says here, the deer feeders are bad neighbors. Well, that's them, not me. Feeding can change behavioral patterns. Feeding can sicken and kill deer. So there are many reasons why we need to not feed the deer. And yes, and we need to educate ourselves and the public about how to coexist with these beautiful and sometimes pesky, pests or animals, so to speak. That's my report. I'm sorry it was so lengthy. It was busy this month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any questions for Council President? If not, we'll move on to Councilman Rutsky.
Thank you, Mayor. The Shade Tree Commission met. As I mentioned at the prior meeting, we will be handing out 100 trees between 5 and 6 feet in height. We'll have 2 varieties. We'll have them on site at Night Out. It'll be first come, first served basis, and we will be handing out coupons. You can present a coupon to the DPW within 2 weeks after Night Out, and you'll have the option of either taking the tree with you, or the DPW will graciously deliver the tree to your house. And we'll have instructions on how to plant it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. On another note, a nice note actually, in June, there was a juvenile victim who reported his bicycle stolen, and he needed it to seek employment for work, and our PD at Local 83 chipped in, and with the friends at Western Cycle, they were able to get a replacement. So kudos to our PDA Local 83. And that's it. I'll keep it short.
Excellent. Any questions for her? We'll move on to Councilman Seymour.
Thank you, Mayor. Our municipal alliance met and is planning to have a very good table presentation at National Night Out to talk about all the work that they're doing is to raise awareness for both mental health, addiction recovery, and of course the upcoming Adam event in recognition of those who we've lost to drunk drivers. Our flood advisory committee has also met and will also be having a table at Night Out to give information to our residents about resources that are available to help those in our flood zones. And I am pleased to announce tonight that our 7th annual Domestic Violence Awareness Symposium will be on Wednesday, October 22nd at 6 p.m. in the evening at the New Milford Public High School. And again, I say this every year, but it can't be understated, I thank the New Milford Police Department, our Board of Education, our school district, who have been not just our supporters, but our partners from the beginning. It's a tremendous privilege to have the support of our police and schools. It's community being community. And I also appreciate, of course, the Bergen County prosecutor and the sheriff for their partnership as well. And that's my report.
Excellent. Any questions for Councilman Seymour? Councilwoman Grant.
Thank you, Mayor.
Welcome back.
Thank you. My report will be the shortest. All my liaisons take a vacation in July, and so did I.
Excellent. That's the best report I've heard in a long time.
Mayor, can I add one thing?
Sure.
Not to get overly sensitive, but I'd like to commend one of your guys, Lieutenant, bringing up the year. I was traveling early in the morning on Boulevard, going south, and one of your officers had pulled over. There was a fawn laying dead in the road. And I don't know if it's protocol or whatever, but instead of leaving it lay there and making a phone call, he put his gloves on, picked up the fawn and brought it over to the curb, and then made a phone call. So it was very heartfelt. And I thought that was a really nice thing for him to do.
Agreed.
I don't want to let the show.
Next, Wednesday, I believe, is the final Milford Rec Movies in the Park. I stopped by at a few of them, and attendance seems pretty good. And the last one, Toy Story, was so far the biggest attendance. So Encanto is on Wednesday after dark, so that should be another big one.
We will be there,
And-
enjoying the ice cream sandwiches.
Yes, if you hang out in the pavilion, the police are giving out ice cream sandwiches, so you kind of know where my seat is. The other thing is I want to give a huge shout out to the New Milford Swim Club swim team, the Marlins. They won first place in their last competition, and if I'm not mistaken, it's either the first time or the first time in a lot of history that they came in first place in a major competition. I had spoken to the coaches and said that if they provide us with the rosters, we would be more than happy to recognize them at our August meeting. It'll be the first time we give certificates to a New Milford swim team, and I think that's fantastic. No? I received a letter from the River Edge Fire Chief, complimenting one of our firemen and DPW workers for being on vacation and responding to a scene when he was out of town on vacation himself and taking control of the scene in River Edge. And he was telling me that the employee is David Stormer. He was telling me how happy he was and confident that Dave could take control of that scene, and he had the utmost confidence in what he was doing. He was not worried. It was a hazmat team as well. So I thanked him for thanking us and told him that we really appreciate our partnerships with Oradell and River Edge and Triborough when it comes to fire scenes and our flood scenes. The three towns work together very well, and we are quite proud of that and want to foster that in the future. We want to continue that relationship. So that was very nice. See, every once in a while we get nice letters, which is great. Is there anything else? If not, I'm going to ask for a motion to open to the public. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Ladies and gentlemen of the public, if anyone has any questions or comments regarding the good and welfare of the Borough of New Milford, we invite you to come up and we will give you 5 minutes. And seeing that no one from the public wishes to come up at this time, I would ask for a motion to close to the public.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I get a motion to adopt resolutions 2025:176 through 2025:195?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Is there any other business before this council? If not, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good night, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you're enjoying the summer, and we look forward to seeing you at National Night Out. Have a good night.
In the car.